company called Technithon. Ever heard of them?
No. No.
Well, you heard of Crinkle Toys.
Yeah, everybody's heard of them.
Technithon owns Crinkle. I bet they'd be very interested in that bike of yours.
$85,000. $85,000.
I thought.
I don't believe it. Please.
Fighting the system like a true modern day Robin Hood.
From Vincent McIvetti, the director of Disney classics like Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo, Herbie Goes Bananas, and of course who could forget Don Knotts and Tim Conway in The Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again, comes the 1986 long since forgotten Disney film, which is not actually a film, but an episode of the Disney-produced anthology series, The Magical World of Disney. It's Ask Max, starring Jeff Cohen as the title character of Max Baxter, but the world will always remember him best as Chunk, the fat kid who did the now infamous Truffle Shuffle in the 1985 film The Goonies, a far more remembered classic.
Come on! Do it! Cut it out, Mo.
As a child of the 1980s, this is the only other thing I remember seeing Chunk from the Goonies in, besides maybe an episode of Family Ties. And that's because by the early 1990s, after he got out of college, he decided that he really didn't want to be an actor anymore. Or he didn't really want to pursue acting anymore, and preferred to live what the rest of us would call a normal life, and is now an entertainment lawyer in California, and lost all that weight that made him become Chunk in the first place. So good for you, Jeff Cohen, as long as you're happy and healthy, that's all that matters. So on with the show. As a child, I loved this when I first saw it on one of those free previews of the Disney Channel. They would occasionally do that back then to try and get people to subscribe to the Disney Channel. All the cable channels did that, back in those days anyway. Does anybody remember Nancy, the operator at the Disney Channel? She used to host those things. Hi, I'm Nancy, an operator here at the Disney Channel. And we have all sorts of wonderful entertainment to offer you here at the Disney Channel. Stuff for kids, and at night we have Ozzie and Harriet.
You're all set. Okay, bye-bye. Hi, I'm Nancy, an operator here at the Disney Channel, telling you that all these wonderful programs that you're seeing on this special Disney Channel preview can be yours all the time for just pennies a day.
If it wasn't for the Disney Channel, I would never have saw Biggles Adventures in Time for the first time. And of course, also back in those days, you would take advantage of this by taping the shit out of everything that they aired, because you never know when you might see it again. And that's how I was able to rewatch such forgotten randomness like Ask Max here. But I have fond memories of it, and it deserves a decent review. Damn it. This is for you, Jeff Cohen. You're in your 2 movies. It's mostly for my brother's birthday, but it's also for Jeff Cohen. Just as long as you remember, this film was made for kids, and it was made in the 80s. So like I said, Chunk plays Max Baxter, a fat, unpopular nerd in high school who can do some pretty amazing things. So amazing that you think they would just pull him out of this average American high school and put him in a school for gifted children or something. But I guess being middle class in the 1980s prevented that for poor Chunk, so he gets to impress his far less intelligent friend here instead with his high-tech paper airplane. That nearly cripples this painter here. But still, that was pretty impressive. And yes, as a child, I tried this in school. Only mine flew about 3 feet, crashed, and for some reason burst into flames. So craving to be popular and liked by this girl he has a crush on, Max goes to some inventive lengths to impress everybody by shooting hoops and making the shot every single time. Wow, pretty good for a short little fat kid. When we see that the secret to his success is actually that he invented a magnetic basketball. Wow, that is freaking cool. But he did it in order to win. Like I said though, inventive, but it's also cheating. And yes, I thought about trying this one too when I was a kid, but I was way too stupid to figure this one out. I still am, actually. I wouldn't know where to begin. I wouldn't know how to invent a magnetic basketball. And although impressive, Chunk is hated even more now by his peers for cheating.
Aw, he's a fake. I knew he couldn't do it.
We then get to meet Chunk, I mean Max. I'm gonna keep messing that up, by the way. He's Chunk, okay? Anyway, we get to meet his mom, who scolds him for cheating. But seeing what a fat, hopeless Chunk he is, offers him little to no advice on how to help him with his social life. You're on your own, kid. Try for a chick more in your league, I guess. Like this nice wheelchair girl here. What's wrong with her, Chunk? You're fat, you can't say nothing. So then the principal announces to the whole school over the intercom. I remember that in school, them announcing shit over the intercom. That there'll be a contest being held for anyone who wishes to enter. And to come up with an idea for a new invention. And to be creative. And whoever comes up with the best invention would be declared the winner, of course. Wow. This shit presented itself at just the right time for popularity-seeking Max here, huh? Weird. Coincidence? So he sees this as his perfect opportunity to get popular and get noticed by that girl he wants so badly. Only she's into jocks, which Chunk is not.
You're a jock, so you're not a jock.
So Max, with the help of his far less intelligent than him friend, tags on to his project as Max decides to invent a flying bike. Or at least jump really high. It's more like the turbo boost in Kit from Knight Rider, only on a bicycle.
Going through that boy's head. Watch out! Michael, don't you think you better do something? Hold on. You're not thinking of... Oh, my word, you are.
Wow. I love that show as a kid. That brings back a lot of memories right there. And Max's first attempt to get this to work fails, of course. It's a miracle his kid's not dead, and after this death-defying stunt, his mother discourages her super-intelligent son from doing stupid shit like that. Only he stays determined. Popularity and getting the girl that you think is hot is all that matters. This does give him the motivation he needs though to keep trying to make this bike work. When he comes across the always reliable 80s gang of high school bullies all riding BMXs.
You're a geek. Geeks make geek moves. You couldn't help yourself. Yeah.
Ah, childhood memories. Only I had no flying bike. So to elude these bullies, Max tries out his turbo boost bike button, and it works this time. And a good thing too, because he could have been killed by that truck right there. Damn. Way to go, Chunk. In your face, 80s bullies. With the bike now working, Max's friend is immediately thinking dollar signs, even though he has no real claim on inventing this thing. He just wants to act as Max's manager or something. Max, however, still wants to do a few more tests with this bike before he unleashes his death trap upon the world. So they sneak into a horse track after hours to test it out some more, and it works like a charm. What do you know about that? Max has a winner here. And then, wouldn't you know it, by happen chance or happenstance or however you want to say it, they're caught by this guy, who also happens to work for a major toy corporation.
Heard of Crinkle Toys?
Yeah, everybody's heard of them.
Technothon owns Crinkle.
Wow! Coincidence and luck just hit Max like every 5 minutes in this movie. And hey look, that businessman guy was also the guy from Gremlins. He played Billy's science teacher, remember? He's an actor named Glenn Turman. He's actually still acting today. He was in the movie 80 for Brady. And he was very impressed with Max's turbo boost bike, of course, and wants to have a meeting with him and his boss to discuss buying the flying bike off him.
Could be worth a considerable amount of money.
Wow, really? Chunk really does have all the best random luck. However, Max declines this businessman's offer. Yeah, He still wants to use the bike to win that stupid high school contest and impress the girl and get popular. Which he already should be in my opinion for inventing that high-tech airplane and magnetic basketball. But nope, he needs to prove himself so we can bang that girl, I guess. This is a Disney movie for kids after all, so probably not that. Well, if it means anything, that actress is a few years older than me. Here's a more recent picture of her. So that night, Max hears his mother bitching to her friend about how bad her life is and how nice it would be to be super rich so she could buy this nice fancy dress she wants. You know, if you look around in their house here, she doesn't seem to have it all that bad. But still, she can't afford that dress. And this one rant from his mother is enough to convince Max to sell that bike so his mom won't have to worry about money anymore and buy whatever damn dress she wants. This is when we get to meet the head of the toy corporation. This old man who's being played by my favorite Martian, Ray Walston. And he's very interested in buying what they're now calling the Sky Bike from this child inventor, Max Baxter, who he's about to meet. So Max and his buddy make a bunch of crazy demands if they want this deal to happen, which the businessman guy laughs off at first. Only these kids turn out to be great hagglers and get everything they ask for.
I'm sure we can work something.
Gee, I'd like to, Mr. Lyman, but see, we gotta get going if we're gonna make our meeting with Mattel.
What?
Now, as great as all this sounds, it completely destroys Max's plans to gain popularity and the love of a girl, since now the toy company owns his Sky Bike, and they want to keep the whole thing hush-hush until their big unveiling. So, oh well, Max remains a hated nerd and loser with nothing to enter in the contest, even though those bullies did witness him succeed when he jumped that truck to get away from them. But that's not good enough. He wants that chick. This disappointment is short-lived, however, when he gets home and finds that his check has arrived for selling that bike. A check for
$85,000.
$85,000?
$85,000.
Jeez, when I saw that scene as a kid, I thought if I walked home and I got a check for $85,000, I would have fainted right there in the floor. All my kitty problems would have been over. Home run chunk. Now that girl will bang you for sure. Oh right, Disney movie for kids, I keep forgetting. So when mom sees this, she wants to be all smart about it, right? Of course, and put it in a stupid bank and all. But Max has other plans. Max is the most loving son in the world because he wants his mother to have all the money so all her problems can go away. And yep, he bought her that dang dress. He's such a smart kid, he knew his mother's dress size. That's wholesome, if not a little strange. So what's the first thing that Max does with his newfound fortune? Well, what any fat kid in the 1980s trying to gain popularity would do. Put on a cowboy hat? No, I just felt like putting that on. Nope, he plays the then relevant basketball player Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to show up at his high school.
Him. I don't believe it. Kareem.
And show everyone how to shoot hoops in this quick 80s montage. Whoops, sorry about that. Wrong 80s movie basketball montage. Here's the right one. And man, you know it's the 80s with them short shorts. You can almost see Kareem's Magic Johnson. Ha! Hey-o! So after this, Max goes right from high school zero to high school hero. So he throws the whole school a party and finally gets noticed by that very shallow girl, who now suddenly likes him. She only dates jocks, huh? Or fat kids who strike it rich. Come on, Max, what about that wheelchair girl? She was way more right for you. He did at least buy her a brand new wheelchair, so he's not a total shit. Max really is a decent human being. So then we're treated to a room full of old white businessmen. And this guy from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
How about catching some Hi, Gloria.
Who's the biggest 80s businessman dick of them all. But Ray Walston's actually a decent human being here who gives Max a chance. Unlike Dickhead here. During this meeting, Max learns that these businessmen plan on closing down the factory where his mother's friend works, since his profits are low and they'd probably end up laying all the workers off. Max then chimes in immediately and demands that they try to find a way to keep this factory open, so his mother's friend won't have to look for a better job.
Think of all those people.
Now Dick guy here doesn't care about laying people off.
Norco is anxious to proceed.
But fortunately, my favorite Martian has a heart, and agrees to let the little factory hang on a little bit longer.
Well, if they want it that bad, they'll wait a few more days.
So even after all this, Max is still trying to gain more popularity. Not good enough, and wants to throw another party for everyone. A bigger party. One where he even wants Madonna to make an appearance. Yeah, he booked Madonna. But his mother blows this whole thing right out of the water immediately and forces him to have a down-to-earth, cheaper party. But since he was competing with another party that another popular kid was having at the same time, his had to be real impressive or nobody would come. But since his party is not as good as it was gonna be, and Madonna's not gonna be there, literally no one shows. Literally. Yeah, no one. Even Wheelchair Girl didn't show up. Showing once and for all that none of these kids gave a shit about Max and they just care about his money. And still, this party still looks pretty elaborate and expensive to me. What the hell did the other kid have, I wonder, to top that disco ball? So then, to keep Max out of the next 80s business meeting about shutting down that factory, the dick from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids reschedules the meeting for earlier just so Max won't make it. And he does all this conniving shit very openly, too.
But he'll never be able to make it in time. I know.
Such an 80s businessman douche thing to do. I salute you for that, douchebag. So Max's love interest then makes up some dumb excuse for missing his party.
I wanted to come, honest.
No disco ball for you, bitch. When Max finds out about the rescheduled meeting. That's about to happen in a few minutes. So he needs to find a way to get there fast. Only how? Can you guess how he gets there? That's right, he takes the Sky Bike prototype, even though he's not supposed to. You rebel Max, you go. You pedal your fat ass. He has to save that factory for that lady. So the meeting's about to get started as Max rides his ass off. That's when them BMX bullies spot Max again, on an even fancier bike this time, and decide to, well, bully him. Again. That's what bullies do. Bully stuff. Bully people. So the chase is on again, even though Max outshined him the last time this shit happened. Some folks never seem to learn. So as everyone tries to convince my favorite Martian to just close that stupid factory, Max, after a chase through the schoolyard, finds himself and his sky bike surrounded by BMX bullies, and seemingly trapped and done for. I don't know what they intend to do once they get him. Beat him to death, destroy his bike, I don't know. Steal his flying bike. So Max heads for the first exit that he sees, when we get to finally see what we've all been waiting for. The sky bike in action, as Max uses it to jump over the football field's goalpost, to the awe of many of his fellow schoolmates, including that chick he likes so much, looking like a fat flying badass over this obvious green screen money shot, and lands safely on the other side. You go, boy. More than half the movie's budget went to pulling off this stunt, in order to find a cord strong enough to hold Chunk's bloated gut. There, in your face, 80s high school BMX bullies. Now do the truffle shuffle, you fat bastard. Where is Max's dad, by the way? They never explained that. That was epic, if not cheaply hilarious. A big in-your-face to 80s bullies everywhere. Max then crashes the meeting and, with this quick rant, manages to convince them to pretty much put Max in charge.
No! You can still make the DC 101 and make a lot of money! A lot of money!
So he can turn that failing factory into a profitable toy factory, where they make Top Gun jets or something. And we're finally given the movie's title by this dick.
Oh, I wouldn't know. Ask Max.
So to wrap this whole little tale up, we get to see Max back in high school, as they announce the winner of the invention contest. Some rando.
I proud to present the Future Business Leaders of America Award to Jerry Winkleberry.
Not Max, of course, since he sold his bike to the toy company. However, the principal, someone we never actually see, by the way, just hear over the intercom, announces to the whole school about everything that Max did, as all of his fellow students finally bask in his genius and greatness. We then see that all that was possible because of my favorite Martian and Max's mother, who had a little talk with the principal, and are apparently lovers now. Just kidding. He just went back to Mars, now that the world knows what a great person Max Baxter is, aka Chunk. Just kidding, he probably just went home. And that's it, the end. A wholesome family movie from Disney that no one remembers, except the kids who happened to see it when it originally aired. Which leads me right into my final thoughts on Chunk's only other notable role as Ask Max. This was wholesome family entertainment in the 1980s. I guess the general message of this movie was trying to say that it's the person that matters, not the money. Which is a good message. But as a kid, it was the inventiveness of Max that I always liked and remembered. I also tried inventing a flying bike and didn't get half an inch off the ground after I gave up and stored it away next to the plane I tried to build after seeing MacGyver do it. And if you do remember this film and would actually like to see it, it's on YouTube, you can find it. That's where I found it. And finally, before I go, I never realized how easy it was to get Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to appear at your high school. For a few grand, really? And apparently Madonna too, she was huge then. For a few $1,000s, you'd show up at your high school for for a party? That doesn't sound believable. He did all that with $85,000. So until next time, happy birthday to my brother Jack. Have a good night, all, and I'll see you at the movies.
That's what